All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John from Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. A little bit late today, and I figure it's time that I come clean with you all. I have a confession to make. I'm late sometimes, a minute or 2 minutes late, and sometimes I say it's because I was making my coffee or feeding the dog, but the truth of the matter is, and I tell you this all the time, I don't have any superstitions, right? When I'm at the table, I don't do the dice off the table, turn the bets off. I don't do any of that stuff at all. I have one, which is this. When I get up in the morning and I have my first cup of coffee, which is generally speaking about 20 minutes before the show, I start playing solitaire. I'm like addicted to solitaire. I've always loved solitaire. And I got this app on my phone, and I've been playing it since I've had my iPhone. It's from Softic Solitaire. And I play it in Vegas style. So the Vegas version of this game is you only get 3 rounds through the cards. It's like, the 3 cards off the top thing. You get 3 rounds and that's it. It's hard to win solitaire when you only get 3 runs through the deck. So I play it every day and I play it until I win. I will not come down here until you see that I won. Do you see the victory dance that it's doing? I won today. Sometimes it takes me till 8:07 to win. And I just will not come down here and start this show or go into the garage to play my daily paycheck until I have beat the solitaire machine. So that's literally my superstition. That's maybe it's an OCD thing. I don't know what that is, but that's me. I know I'm a little nuts with that, but that's honestly speaking, some days why I'm late, because I'm still up there trying to beat the freaking solitaire game, and I can't in good conscience come down here and put a show on if I know that I almost won. Call me weird, whatever. But that is me. Boy, oh boy, I'm looking at some chats here. Skill, I'm not sure what you're saying here. 18 inside or 24 across combinations. 18 inside, 24 across combinations versus 6 losing ways is 18. Risk and wisdom, mind-blowing concept. We'll talk about that today, actually. I want to talk about, you all know the probabilities here, right? You know how to calculate that. I've taught this so many times, how to calculate the actual probabilities of winning, not just the odds, right? The odds are 24 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. That's at 4-to-1 ratio. It's the math on that, right? The 80% chance of winning those bets that you really have to kind of get your head wrapped around. But today what I want to do, honestly, is I want to do a little comparison, and we will. I'm going to compare a couple of betting styles today just because it's fun to do it. And I'm going to do another one on Monday because a subscriber wrote me something weird that I don't want to say I want to take issue with it, but it belongs in Win Craps to discuss it. So when we get to that part of the show today, I'll disclose what it is that he said to me, and we'll talk as a group here about what you think about that, and then also how I should test it out. So let's get into the meat of the matter here and review yesterday's paycheck. So if you didn't make the paycheck, sad for you. You got to make the paycheck, guys. I know that it's a little boring. We'll talk about this later on. I'm doing the same strategy every day for 30 days, and it's a boring strategy, and it's the same thing every 30 days. But again, this is a science experiment, right? We're doing this together as a science experiment. Can I make 100K? And if you've watched Charlie from Drunk Guy Explains, watch his bankroll builds. It's the 6 and 8 for one hit and turns it off for an hour and a half. I mean, it's to make 100 grand methodically is not exciting. I'm sorry, it's not, but that's what it is. But here we are. Look at this. We went from 7-0 up $800 to being 8-0 and up $3,000 in one day. What happened? If you didn't come to the show, you missed it. You missed it. We had an excess play. So I tell you all the time, if we can win 20%, our goal is 10%. If I can win 20, lock my 10, so I'm going home with my $110 or whatever it was the paycheck was, and I got some extra juice to play with, I'm going to play with the juice, right? If that excess was a decent amount, let's say it was, whatever. Let's say I won 350 or something, right? I would lock the 250 up. Right, probably not play with that. But yesterday we won $70. I won $180. I had $70 extra, and I'm like, okay, cool, guys. We made our paycheck pretty quick. Let's take the $70. Let's go out there, and I had a choice to make, and that's the reason for today's show, by the way. The choice that I had to make was with $70. What do? I was going to do one shooter. Choice A, 66 inside to 88 and spread out. Choice number 2, 66 inside, pick up the 4 and 10 and play through. Choice 3. 64 across and just half press till Tipperary, right? That was my 3 choices that I had. What did I do? I picked 66 inside and decided to go 66 and do a squeeze play. So 66, grab the 4 and 10, the next hit, come down, right? Well, what happened? I threw like 11-4. No, not 11-4. It was 8 4s and 11 rolls. Like, bam, out of the gate, 8 4s. We weren't on the 4 for the first 3 because I was waiting for the inside hit to happen. I missed the first 3 of them. Finally got an inside hit, grabbed the 4 and 10, and I had pressed that 4 up to $600 by just half pressing from 10 to 600. It was crazy town. I made $2,200 from 70 in 40-something rolls. Now, that was probably a $10,000 roll. If I had started 64 across, that roll would have gone a whole different way, right? Starting 66 inside and spreading or up and down. If I would have gone up and down, I never would have got it because it took me like 11 rolls to get my second inside hit. It was all 4s and 10s. The decision to go 64 across or inside impacted that roll so much. I thought we got to do a whole show on this. We got to do a whole show on what does it look like to go from 66 inside versus 64 across, where one guy's going to be delayed a couple of hits and possibly miss out in the 4 and 10, and one guy just has a chance to just go, right? There's no regressing from 64 across. You just got, you're in there to win it, right? There's nowhere to hide unless you win a bunch and then regress back down a little bit. At the 66 inside level, you're thinking regression out of the gate. You're thinking, I'm going to regress ASAP. I'm going to put myself behind the shooter a little bit by a few rolls, but that's your goal, is to be safe and then play. That's what I chose yesterday, and it kind of hurt us. We could have won a fortune yesterday. But it just didn't happen. As it was, we turned $70 into $2,000, which gives me 2 mulligans, right? We're going in for about $1,000 every day. I can now lose 2 times. I can go belly up twice and still be where I'm supposed to be in the run. That was huge yesterday. And if you missed the show, you know, I didn't break a stick. I was excited. I had a good time. It was fun. Sometimes that's fun. It's still with this strategy hard to get there. This strategy is it's a good one. The Latterson's good. It works. It's a grind. It's a big time grind, but it works. I was talking to Ken yesterday about this one, and he was making the mention about bet leveling, right? And he was talking to me about, you know, he's going to do it at a little higher level. He's going to roll it out tonight. He's going to try and break it tonight. And he thinks I'm playing at a too low of a bet level, but here's what my thought process was, and I haven't heard back from him yet, so I don't know what his thoughts are on this, but I'll tell you. At $1,000 bankroll, I don't think anything more than $25 bets is smart to start with. I've designed the system to take 4 hits, right? If I got $1,000 and I'm out there for 25, 4 hits is $100. That's it, 4 wins. I need 4 wins to get $100. We have 2 bets out there at once. So a lot of times we tie. We win 1, lose 1 during the setting process. That's what's making it grind. It's the fact that there's 2 don't bets going, and we're having this situation where we get them both set. I lose 1, win the other one. Well, we didn't get anywhere. And it's rinse and repeat. That's where the grind's coming from. As I watch this thing play out every day now, it's been 8 days of playing it, you can visually see that's where the grind is. It's not so much that it's don't pass and it's small wins. It's that 1-4-1 when I pick myself off that's killing us. So I made the change yesterday to do some odds on the DC part, and that really helped us out. So we're going to keep messing with it, but that's where it is. Fun strategy, but it's a grinder. It's very, very safe, but it's a grinder. And you're seeing that, but so far it's holding its own. All right, let's move ahead and do our normal stuff here. So Old Bay, I got to actually, if you're in the audience now, Jeff or Chris, just drop me a text. I was going to text you after the show anyway about tomorrow. So if you want a deal or box tomorrow, let me know. If you're available to do it, great. If not, I got you. I'm available and nothing happening tomorrow night. So either me, Jeff, or Chris will take care of it. At some point here, I got to get Old Bay and I got to get Chiro, get them to be able to deal through the channel too, so we can bring them in. But Old Bay's too busy playing and winning right now, so he's off the list for a hot minute. What else is going on here? I told you earlier, Ken's Can I Beat It? He's doing the Dolly Latterson tonight, I think, so that'll be fun to watch. I have to work, so I can't really watch it live. I may be able to jump in live, but hope he beats it. You know, Ken and I were talking. He is doing Can I Beat It? He just wants to know, can the strategy hold up? When I do my Stop Loss Zero shows, I'm trying to beat the strategy. I hope that they lose. Ken hopes that they win. I'm coming at my Stop Loss Zero show hoping to show a loss every time. I want to show that these strategies all go to zero. If I put them in win craps, they all go to zero. Every one of them goes to zero in win craps. If $1,000, $10 bets, to zero we go 100% of the time. Because of either the strategy's stupid and has dumb bets on it, or it's a good strategy, but the house edge just bleeds you out, or the hedging bleeds you out. So I want to run them and show you how they get to zero. Not just that they get to zero, but how that happens so you can be aware of it, right? Ken's more like, how strong is this? So we're taking the same end goal, I think, but for different reasons. So anyway, watch his show. Root for me. Let's root that the Latterson wins. But I kind of hope that he shows it getting his ass kicked, because so far I've been lucky. And I've been lucky to win 8 days in a row. Maybe Ken will destroy it tonight, and that'll be interesting if he does. And interesting to hear his commentary on the strategy. He's talked to me about it a little bit, but I want to hear what he has to say to you about how that strategy works. So there's that for tonight. And the other thing is Waylon's paycheck. If you didn't see it, Waylon ran that 6-8 suplex, which is his 120, 6 and 8, and then $25 on the rest of the numbers. It's a typical Waylon ladder kind of thing, right? He ran it yesterday for 2 hours or something. He made 10 $500 paychecks, and he had to work. I mean, some of those things were working. Like he had to go after it. Now I didn't do it live, right? Waylon can't go live. Internet problems, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But he ran it for 2 straight hours, and he had trouble at times, and he fought back at times. So when you have the lesson from Waylon is, and the lesson from my Latterson actually is the same. When you have big bankrolls, you can survive the downturns most of the time with those ladder systems. Those lost chasers, if they're done with, the word I want to use is respect. If they're played with respect, you can recover your losses. And what I mean by that is if you don't go crazy, like an unfettered ladder that goes for till $1 billion, right? You play them smartly. You ladder only up to level 5 or level 6. Ladder down, and the minute you're even, go back to bed. Like those kind of rules that you put into place that we're starting to see Waylon talk about more and more. When you do that, those strategies almost always come back, but you got to have backing bankroll to do it. I think my Latterson with $1,000 and $25 bets is really on the edge of not having enough money. It probably needs double what I've got to make me feel comfortable with it. I think that's an important thing for us to all realize. But Waylon proved it yesterday, right? He's not a bullshitter. He's throwing it out there. He went as live as he could go and showed you some of the good, bad, and ugly of that strategy, and it worked out for him. So good on him, and hope he keeps doing more of that stuff, because I think I think it adds credibility when you start showing yourself struggling, and he's swearing, and he's just like me, get pissed off. He's like, son of a bitch, when the 6 gets picked off, when he throws a 7. It's good, right? It's good. This is an emotional game, and we all get a little bit pissed off. Yes, at some point, I keep threatening to do this, Ryan. I keep threatening to say, let's put WinCraps up there and do like a tutorial. I did a tutorial on WinCraps a few months ago. I could resend it to you if you want. I did like 5 days on how do I code in WinCraps, and I don't go back to that very often, but I should do another series of that because it's fun to kind of see how that all comes together. Let's see. David, David, I have 2 things about David that we'll talk about in the come out roll here. So David said a couple things last night. One is he likes strategies that require 3 hits. So we talk about risk tolerance, and Skill's bringing it up here, right? It's really hard to get 3 hits. You've seen me struggle to get 3 hits out here. Today, what I'm going to do is a strategy test in WinCraps. We're going to do 64 across, straight, just out of the gate. We're going to do a skill 66, which is a 2-hit strategy, 2 inside hits. And we're going to do my 130 across, which is a 2-hit strategy, but I got the 4 and 10 covered. It's basically a 66 with the 4 and 10. We're going to run them all and show you kind of the difference in leveling and how that works and what that risk tolerance is. David also answered my question about tipping. And he proved to me, and I said this to Skill, David proved what also Jason from Sin City Living proves, which is that all dealers are degenerates. I love you guys, but you're all a bunch of degens. And he said he would rather have you bet for them than get a drop, right? If I gave him $25, he'd be like, that's great. He's like, I would rather you put the $25 to work for me and give me the winnings. He's like, if you're not willing to give it to the house, put the $25 in action somewhere and let me have the winnings off of that. Like, bet me a 5 and give me the greens or the reds. Like, that's how dealers think. They want the opportunity to win because they've seen the big rolls. I still maintain I would personally rather give them actual money. that they can spend. So we'll disagree on that. But again, he's a dealer, Jason's a dealer. They want to play. They want to be in the game. They can't gamble at their casino, so they want to be in the game. And I totally get that. So there it is. The vibe of the dealer is give me the bets, not the money. Whatever, I like to give him the money. So I will die on that hill personally, but I do get it. So I can see myself doing the $25 and some ride-alongs, you know, hard way ride-alongs and some some pass line ride-alongs, that kind of thing. But I don't see myself doing the inside bets. He actually said that when you bet for them on the inside, by the way, dealer, and I do this when I was betting for dealers. I do like a lot of dealers on the inside, dealers across player control, take one, press one. That's my way, right? When I do bet for dealers, it's dealers inside or dealers across, $4 or $6, take one, press one. He said that's a pain in the ass. He actually said it makes it, he said when you're doing all the player stuff and then you got to deal with your own bets, he's like, it's really kind of hard to do that. It's like, it's a lot of time, a lot of cognition. They would rather a simple pass line with odds or the hard ways or the ATS. Like, give us the simple bets. Let us have some skin in the game. But the inside bets that we're all doing all the pressing on, he said that actually is kind of hard to manage. And I didn't think of that. Also think about this. If I'm betting the inside and you're betting the inside, your player control says take it every time. My player control says take one, press one. Now he's got to manage two separate dealer bet schemes for themselves. And think about how hard that is to do along with everybody else. That's interesting, right? I never even considered how hard that would be to manage. So what he's asking for, pass line with odds, a little bit of hard ways, a little bit of bonus bet action, and do that for them. If you're going to bet for them, do that. Get them in the game lightly. Me, I'm dropping, and I'm dropping at the end, and I'm a percentage tipper. I like to do that. He's like, during the game, you get better service. Well, whatever. There it is. I think. Let's see. Would I tip my waiter with a lot? And I would not do that. I also wouldn't, like I said, the example I gave the other day of tipping my waiter. If I tipped them, like if the house said or the restaurant said, randomly we're going to take half of the dealer's tips, whatever you're going to give them, we're taking half of it. Like if you tip them along the way, hey, thanks for the water. Here's $1. Thanks for the wine. Thanks for checking on how our dinner is. Here's $1. Thanks for taking my steak back because it was cooked wrong. Here's $1. And the manager came by and took half of that every 15 minutes because he felt like it. That would suck, right? That's a terrible way to do it. But the dealers like that. They like to get the instant like recognition that they did a good job. I get it. I understand it. So, all right, there's my opening. Points to ponder. I want to bring these couple things up before I really start talking. Somebody wrote me yesterday and said this. I don't know if it was Michael Blocker or who. Somebody wrote this question and said, what the F are you doing 50,000 rolls in WinCraps for? When I did yesterday's big thing. He said, who is doing this? Nobody's playing 50,000 rolls. Why would I ever run you a strategy, 50,000 rolls in WinCraps and show you how good or bad something is? Why would I do that? Or even 5,000 rolls. Who's doing this, right? I will tell you right now, and everybody plug in and pay attention here when I say this. You do. You play 50,000 sequential rolls. You may not feel, it was not you. I forget, it was somebody with an M though in their name. That's why I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you out. You do, right? You all play 50,000 consecutive rolls. You don't do it at one session, but if you play 100 rolls today, and then you go home, and you go back tomorrow and play 100 rolls, and you go back Thursday or Saturday and play 100 rolls, guess what you've played? 300 consecutive rolls. Okay, they weren't at the same time, on the same trip, in the same session, but you have seen 300 consecutive rolls. Over your lifetime, probably about 50,000 rolls, like most of us have. When I do WinCraps sims like this, it feels like that doesn't make any damn sense. Why would you do that? That's why I bake in most WinCraps sims that I do, I bake in the paycheck calculation. I say, play this until I've made 10% or 20% or lost 50% or 100%. I play it like, and I say, how many sessions in the 50,000 rolls that I play? Sometimes 50,000 rolls equates to 2 years of play. Sometimes it equates to 1 year of play. Depends on what the strategy is. But I bake those win goals, loss limits into it because it simulates going and coming home and then doing it again. How many consecutive sessions can I win? But 100% of you have seen 50,000 rolls in your life. You have gone and left and gone and left. And whether you take a week in between rolls 100 and rolls 101, you're still seeing 101 consecutive rolls. Okay, just like the 5 count. If you see a come out roll and you wait 5 rolls and put your next bet out, and you do that every single shooter, you think you're taking 5 rolls off, you're not. You're leapfrogging. You're taking rests in between, but you're still seeing 6 consecutive rolls or 7 consecutive rolls. You're just waiting between them. It's the same shit. It doesn't matter, right? Taking time between rolls doesn't make you any more brilliant or stupid than anybody else. It just means that you're stretching out the number of rolls that it takes to get your 50,000. You're still seeing them. Don't forget that, everybody. The rolls that you're active for are your consecutive rolls. So we all are seeing 50,000 rolls, every single one of us. Now, the other thing that came up was this, and I talked about the paycheck is boring, right? Here's why he says it's boring. A couple of folks have said this to me. 30 days on the same strategy is too much. We get the strategy. We know what you're trying to do. Can you mix it up a little bit? It's too boring. It might just be that this strategy is boring, right? If I was playing the Red Cross, or if I was playing the Perpetual Press, it'd be more exciting because I'm losing and winning a lot more, and I'm doing more with the chips. This one's a very boring strategy. That could be the case too. My question for you is this: is there fatigue from you already 8 days in on this strategy or on the show itself? I made mention yesterday that, when I was doing the show at 7 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, I would have 50 viewers. Now I'm getting about 20 viewers on that same show just by going later. Going later affords me the ability to go over an hour, which is why I made the change. But we're getting less viewers, and I wonder if less viewers are because the strategy itself isn't compelling, or if it's just too many it's the same thing every day, right? Is that fatigue? So a suggestion was made to maybe go at it with the after show being a second strategy, or maybe playing 2 strategies like I'm doing here at the same time, where I'm comparing my dark side play with a light side play and saying, well, if I was doing this instead, how would it go, to kind of shake things up a little bit. I don't know if that slows it down too much. It would make it interesting, but I don't know if it slows it down too much. So I'll leave it out here in chat. You can put me some PCs out here and let me know what you think about that. I really would appreciate that, because again, the show it's for me to prove the strategies out that they can win or lose or whatever. It's also to prove the bankroll management piece works. It's also to prove and get some practice in. It's a lot of things that I want to accomplish there. So, but ultimately, you got to like watching it. Otherwise, there's no point doing it. Darkside's got a question here. It says, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know what it says. It says, curious as to why the Latterson flat player aren't laddering back down. Oh, that's because it's very tactical on this one. The Latterson was designed to never come down on purpose, because there's a right side play that we do that's interesting and fun, which is the perpetual press, where it's a right side thing. It's almost like Wayland's mind strategy, where when you don't win on the mind, you go up and up and up and up and up, and you never come down. The mind never comes down until you hit goal or hit some level. The perpetual press, same thing. You start out with 88 inside or 66 inside, and you press 22, press 22, press 22. You keep going forever. And yeah, you get whacked. You come back out at level, and you pick it right back up again. I thought, can I make that work on the dark side? I was like curious, can it work? And so the Latterson was born of that. It was born of, let me just ladder up a little bit every single time, or a full unit, and go forever and see what happens. Because ultimately you're gonna lose. You come back out at like 8 units. You're like, holy crap, 8 units, but you win twice, all your money comes flying back, and you're still at 8 units. Your next win puts you in excess. It works really, really good until you get too deep in your bankroll. That was designed as a test to see if laddering up and never coming down, if the height of those bets can work. That was the reason why I did it. So yeah, there's a reason for it. Maybe not smart. Maybe laddering down is smart, but that laddering down is the Dalen Bear. Wayland's already doing that stuff. I wanted to try something different. And that's why I do it that way. I was actually going to try another version of it, and I might do it today actually, where you ladder up every time. Like I've been doing this in roulette. I gave Ken this roulette strategy. I saw it on Paradise Craps. I think I showed it to you last week, where every resolution you go up. So if I win a bet, go up. If I lose a bet, I go up. And no matter what happens, every time the bet goes back out, it's $5 higher. Every single, you just go to the ceiling with it. How fast can that win or lose? Because you're literally mechanically just raising every bet all the time. That's an interesting one because the bets get up high really quick, and a couple of subsequent wins, boom, right? You hammer it. These are reasons to get more money on the felt, is what it boils down to. Reasons to get more money on the felt. It becomes an up and pull when you're winning. It becomes a ladder when you're losing. Super interesting to play. I'm going to play that today instead of the odds player because I want you to see that. They're just, like I said, to me, it's experimental play. Like what happens when you monkey with the money? And I think that's always fun. Skill, thank you for that. He says, I'm mixing the odds with the side-by-side. Today I'm going to do the, I don't know what to call this thing, but we're going to do this perpetual press thing besides the other guy. Both players will play flat. One player is going to go insane with the pressing. We'll see what happens. Anyway, there's my thoughts from yesterday. I just want to get those things out. Now, let's talk about going up, going down. I'm actually going to go to the table here and demonstrate a little bit what I'm talking about. But here are the play styles that I want to compare today. The all-in player, okay? He just goes out for like whatever it is across. 64 across, 160, whatever it is across. There's no regression. So you're going to go out with as much as you're willing to lose across. This is the guy who's buying in for 640 or 600 bucks, going 64 across 10 times. And say, well, one of these 10 players is going to make it for me. Let's just see what happens, right? Right out of the gate, going to start playing. That's player one. The other player is going to do, an up and down, which the skill 66 kind of a thing, or the squeeze play. They're both up and down style of play, right? Start bigger on the inside, go up, come down, and then you go out to 64 across. And the third player, I think we're going to do three players here, is going to do kind of a limping into it kind of a thing, where you do the 6 and 8 only, right? A lot of players, I think Ed Robinson starts this way. I think Victor starts this way, where you go, just give me the 6 and 8. I don't know what's happening yet. Like the player who's going across says, I don't know what's happening. Brand new shooter, new dice. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let me get them all. Let me get them all, and we'll see what's happening. We're going to press as they hit, so we're getting some trend betting in, and we're going to see what happens. That player has no idea what's going to happen, right? The inside guy is tactically saying, mathematically, I'm sure the inside bets are more likely to hit than the outside bets. I'm going to put more money where it's more likely to see a shot. I'll take a couple to fund other play, and I'm going to play a little bit of snowflake style. Let's get out there for basically free or damn close to it, okay? The limp-in guy is literally toe in the water. Give me like an $18 6 and 8, like something cheap. Let me take a hit, maybe grab the 5 and 9, maybe take a hit and stash it. Second hit, start working my way out and seeing what's going to hit, right? That's right? That's a very low bankroll impact kind of play, very low house edge kind of way to play. Low risk, low reward, right? The up and down guy has high risk, potentially no reward because you may never get spread out, right? The all-in guy has a known risk and a potentially high reward, but most of the time he's going to burn the $64. It takes 5 hits, right? 5 $14 hits to win at $64 across to get even. Tomorrow, now I know Victor's saying same bet power press, right? Tomorrow I'm going to do a thing, or not tomorrow, next week I'm going to roll a fourth one out. Because what Victor's saying here, I've been advocating this for a long time, which is first hit on a number, you should take it. Then you start going to press, right? I like to same bet the first one, press the second one when I'm at 64 all in, right? If I've done the 66 up and down and I'm playing 64 across risk free, I don't do that. You follow me? Or the 130 across. If I do the 130 across and I'm playing for free, risk free, all that money out there is all wins, I will not do the same bet and press. I'll just go right to pressing. Okay. If I start clean though, 64 across, I'm immediately same bet press, same bet press, same bet press. Okay. That's how that works. So I think you're right, Victor. This other player said you should never, ever, he said, pros don't press was the name of his quote. Pros don't press. You need to collect 2 times your expected loss before you start pressing, which means if I go out there at 64 across, I need to collect $128 before I start pressing. Well, 128 off of 64, how many wins is that, folks? That's about 10 wins before I can start pressing. I think that's ludicrous. But we're gonna put in win craps and I'm gonna try it out. So we're gonna give it a shot. Okay. Darksider says, what happens when I compare 2 hits need to happen within 3 rolls after the point and regress? That's another version of this whole thing, right? I think it's we could be here all day doing all these different ways of doing it, right? I can, have the higher bets, take 1, 2, 3 rolls, and then say, screw it, I'm going back down. Like the 130 player could say, I'll take 1, 2, 3 rolls, and I'm out at table minimum, right? Maybe I get a hit or two in there, maybe not. But let's go. Let's go to our table and let's take a look at it. Yeah, Connor, it is crazy, but a lot of people feel very strongly that same bet is the only way to play this game. I've seen so many people insinuate same bet is the only way to play, and I get why somebody may say that, right? Because when you're I gotta fix the screen here. That it's a little bit too. Where's my camera effects? Hold on. There we go. It's a little bit too. There we go. A little bit too dark. I get why they're saying it, right? Because when you press, you're losing out, right? You're not bringing anything back to the rack, right? And you're putting yourself at grave risk. I get it. However, at the same time, you have to think about number of hits to get where you want to get to. So when you're pressing and coming back home, a lot of times that just takes less number of hits, right? Let's do it. Let's take. I got $1,000 in here. Let's just take a few player examples here. Hopefully we can get some good rolls. And I'll leave the dice sitting out here. Maybe I'll do what I did before. I'll leave the dice out there, and we'll play against the same set of rolls a few times. Okay, let me get 64 across set up here first. We'll do 64 across. I'll take my 36 and change here in just a minute. And again, this player here is doing what we would call a spray and pray. All the bets are out there. 25, 30, $4 coming back. Or I'm sorry, $36 coming back. 64 across. 35, 36 back. And hoping for the best, right? Hoping for a good roll. Off with the come out. Let me roll a little bit here. And let's see what we can come up with. There's a 6-5 yo. I may need to get, hopefully I'll get more dice. I'd like to get a roll, there's an aces, where I get like 7 or 8 rolls. And we can have a really good kind of visual on what it looks like. There's a 9. Okay, good. We got a 9. We have a point finally. Let's see if we can get a few hits. I'm just gonna literally on this guy here, we can just half press. I'm not gonna do the same bet and press. I'm gonna just half press as a simple example and hope that we can make some cash. There's a 9. So let's go ahead and mark this up here. I'm gonna actually put the dice here. I'm gonna do a 9. Hopefully we get a good run. And actually let's do it with the same color dice. 5, 4, 9, and then we had a 5, 4, 9 right after it. We had 2 5, 4, 9s back to back. So we set a point, and then we hit the point. I'm going to offset them a little bit. We're coming back out with a different set of dice. There's a 7. Who cares? I'm not going to mark the 7 up here. I'll mark the 7s when we have a point loser. There's the 6 being set. So the 6 is now actually we'll make that's the point. There's the set. That's the point. We'll put the non-points in the line across there in the front. Here we go. Oh, I didn't pay the 9. The 9, by the way, got paid $14 in the first one. $14. If we half press it, we'll take it to 15, basically, and we'll take this money back to our rack. And let me do this. Let me do it like this. I'm going to take that up there. We'll leave our $36 here as starting bankroll, and there's the 7. So that's a shit run, but that's okay. It's okay. We can take a look at what happened here. That was a 7. Let's put it up. And there's our 7 out. Okay, so we 7 out right away. So 64 across player, right? Put it all out there, right? And got $9 back to his rack. So he's basically out $55. That player. That's what happened to him. Let's reset to 66 inside. Okay. And I'll do a little skill 66 with the same exact rolls, okay? How does this strategy work? Well, we get a 9 as the point. We hit the 9 for $21. $21. We drop a buck, and they all go up by 1 unit, okay? We set a point of 6, and then we 7 out, so he's out the entire $66, okay? That was needing 2 hits to get out of there, right? The 130 across player is gonna have the exact same problem. Let's do it again and hopefully get a better set of rolls here because I really want to give you a good example before I go to win craps. I'm going to win craps this whole thing out, but I want to get a better set of rolls than that. I want you to see 4 or 5 rolls into a shooter, what the differences are, okay? There's 36. Let's put this all back. Let's take the dice over here. Can I get more than 4 rolls this time? We'll start with the white dice. There's a 10. Sweet. 6, 4, 10. I love the outside point. 64 across player again. Just gonna half press if we can get past it. There's a 4. That pays 18 bucks. Okay, 18 bucks. I'm gonna take about half of it, 10, and buy it for 20. Not gonna do with VIGs. I'm just gonna do them straight up. There's our 4. The point was a 10, 6, 4, 10. I didn't put it up there. There's the point. There's a roll. There's a 4. Look at that. We hit our 4. 314. That's fan-freaking-tastic. 314. 20 is going to pay 40. Okay, and we will half press that. I'll take 20 of the 40. So we're going to go. We'll go to 40 bucks with it as a total bet and take 20 bucks back to the rack. That's about a half press. Okay. Now at a $64, I've got $28 back in the rack. I'm still not there. But 2 4s, and that's going to be interesting when you get to the inside players. There's a 516, 14 bucks. Half press it. We'll just go up to 18 with it. Nice and simple. Bring some back. Look how long it's taking us to get even, right? When you're 64 across and you're half pressing, it takes a lot of rolls to get where you want to be. There's a 9. Everything's hitting one time, it looks like, right? There's a 9. It pays 14 bucks. Again, we'll press it by 1 unit. Come back to the rack. If I color up these whites a little bit here, there is 10 bucks in whites. So in our rack right now, there's 20, there's 40, there's 45 bucks. We're still not even. We're still not even out of the hand yet, right? When you're going, I need to get a bunch of more dice. I'm going to bring them all over here. When you're playing this style, right, you need a bunch of rolls. You need that monster to get you where you got to be, right? This is going to be interesting when we run it with the other players. Hold on, I got to get this crap out of my way here. Bigger set of dice. All right, here we go. Next roll. 3, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna put it here. I'm gonna ignore it. Okay. I'll just put the payments or the takeaways up there. There's an 11. Doesn't matter also. Come on. There's a 6. We got a repeater finally, right? 426. That pays $21. Okay. Again, half of that is about 12 bucks. Okay. So 18 plus 12 makes it look like 30 to me, right? That's going to be 25, 30 bucks. We're going to take this back to the rack. Make it look like 30. Now my 6 actually looks pretty stout. Let's put the 6 up here. It'd be interesting when we 7 out how these different players experience the same set of kind of okay rolls. There's an 8. And I'll probably stop at about 10. At roll, if we happen to get 10 hits, God forbid, we'll see the impact of that. That's a good, because by that time they'll all be off to the races anyway. So let's go 18 bucks with the 8. Rack this up. We'll log the 8 over here. Are we even yet? We out of this hand yet? 6 rolls in. There's a 3. We're not going to count that. 11. We're not going to count the yo. There's a 9. Cool. Was that pressed up? It was. Awesome sauce. That pays 21 bucks. We'll press half of it. Now it's a quarter. Bring this back to the rack. I'm going to start coloring up here because I want you to see where we are. There's 50 bucks. Look, I think we're even. I think we're finally 50, 64. There it is. He made his money back. He got $9 locked up in profit. God, come on, John. $9 locked up in profit. And there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rolls in. 64 across, half pressing. Has $9 in profit plus all the money out here. Probably a paycheck when you add it all up, right? There's 10, there's 4, that's 50 bucks, there's 100 bucks, 105, 100 and whatever, right? So he's got about 100 bucks out here. So he worked his ass off to make $9 and have 100 and change in action, which is pretty cool. do a couple more rolls here. Maybe we'll catch a 7. That's a good time for a 7. Because that's a good set of rolls to compare all the players to, I think, right? There's a 5. I said, well, I'll stop at, if I get to 10, I'll stop at 10. So again, I just want you to see. Let's do 15 for 1. 15 for 1. I'll just give them, again, like the 9. We'll do a 1 unit press, not a half press there. We'll half press from here now. It's easier at this point. There's another 5. Oh, I didn't put the 5, the first 5. There's a 5, and there was a 5 on the roll before. So let's put the 2 5s back to back. 2 and a 3. There we go. So that's going to pay 21. Half press it. So it's a quarter. And again, you're not bringing much back, right? The half pressing, you're always collecting, but your rack out here is looking strong. We're about 160 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last roll rate. This will be the last roll. Let's do 10 rolls. If I can get a 10 shot roller, that's a beautiful thing. There's a 3. Maybe one more number, and then we'll stop it here, and I'll do the other 2 players on the same rolls. There's a 9, 5, 4. Sweet, 35 bucks. 35 bucks. Okay. I'll put 10 up, and I'll bring 25 back. And so at the end of the day, what you got here is 25 bucks. And whatever, $54 locked. If I bring it all down, let's say we're done, 10 rolls, I'm done, right? We'll see where this player got to. Oh my God. There's 150. I'll make that a red chip there. So that's 50. This is 100. All told, if he pulls everything down, he's got 200 bucks, 210, 212, and his money back, right? That's pretty good. On 10 rolls, he made 212 from 64 across. It's not bad if he pulls it all down. Let's reset the whole board, okay? Remember that. We'll put 212 over here for the first player. Can you see that? There's the first player. That's the 64 across guy, 212. Same rolls now. We'll do 64. We'll do 66 inside. We'll do the skill and luck play, right? 3, 3, 3, and 3. What does this feel like? It's going to feel bad early, I can tell you that, right? Because you don't get paid on the 4, right? You don't get paid on the 4. That sucks. You missed out on the first 2 and you're sweating. I've been here before and I'm like, remember we had the 3 and the 11 all, and like, oh my God, we're 4 rolls in, I got nothing out of this thing. Then we catch a 6 for $21, okay? And we'll drop a buck out of our rack. Then we catch a 9, which pays $28, 25, 28 bucks. And we're gonna go to 64 across now. We're gonna take this down to 64 across. We're gonna spread those 2 out. We're gonna come down like this to 64 across. And what's coming back to my rack, you'll see here in a second, there's 5 whites. That's a quarter. What comes back to the rack is 52 bucks. So we're not out of the woods yet, okay? But we did get our 2 hits, and now we're playing 64 across. But we're playing there with a little bit of a jump into the rack where the other guy had to fight a little bit, right? So the 6 is gonna pay, again, 14 bucks. Same as before. We're gonna take the exact same pressing scheme now. We're just gonna go a little up and pull every single time. I'm gonna keep rocking the rack over here as we go. I'll put it on this side again till we get set. Okay, there's the 6, there's the 8, the same thing, pays 14 bucks. We're gonna press it by 1, take all these back. There's the 9, it pays 15 for 1. 1 unit goes up. There's the 5, 15 for 1. There's the 1, it goes up by a unit, we take 2 units back. There's another 5, so it finally pays $21. 21. We're gonna give it 2 units, make it a green. That red comes back to the rack, and we finally have the 9. The 10th roll is a 9, which also pays $21. Half press it up, bring back 12 to the rack. This becomes a quarter. Let's bring it all down. Let's count it all up and see where this player ends up. There's 50. Remember, I will pull back the 66 out of there, and we're going to just show the profits when it's all said and done. Okay, there's 50, there's 100, there's 50, there's 100, but he started out with 66 bucks, right? So there's 50, 65, 60, actually $67. There's his starting bankroll. We can't count that. Profit for this player is 100, 25, 35, 140 and change. 144 was his profit. So about half, right? By coming into the game a little bit late, it's half the profit. Okay? Let's do the same thing with the squeeze play. Right? 60, actually squeeze play would be this, it'd be 88. Right? The right way to do it, 88 bucks. So we're chasing $88 here on this guy. Okay? Same rolls. Right? We set a 9, we get a 4, nothing. 4, nothing. 6 pays $28. 25, 28 bucks. We're gonna grab the 4 and the 10, right? I had to drop $2 out of my rack to make it look like 15 bucks on the 4 and 10, okay? Then we catch a 9, again for $28, 25, $28, and now down to table minimum. Like so. Now we're down, there's a nickel. 25 bucks, there's a nickel. He's bringing back about $40 to the rack. That's also mine, okay? Not bad. And the same thing as the skill 66. After the second hit, they're both at 64 across, right? Starting at this roll at the 6. He's got 50, 72 bucks in the rack, where the skill 66 had about 50 bucks in the rack at the same point, right? Bring it back. Actually, I should have brought these back. These should be at 10. That's my bad. They should be at 10, not 15. So look at where we are here, right? The squeeze play needed the same number of hits. The risk was 88 bucks, not 66, to get where we wanted to be. But he's got 75 bucks now in the rack, right? If I make that look like greens, you're already at 75. So now when the process actually starts here on with the 6, and we're at the $14, it's gonna look a little different. There's the 14. There's the 8. Same thing. It's gonna pay 14 bucks. We can do 15 for 1 to make it easier. 15 for 1. We're gonna press it by a unit, like so. There's the 9. It's gonna pay 15 for 1. And again, we'll press it up by 1 unit. There's this 5. We're just doing the same thing, right? It's 15 for 1. Press it by 1. Then it pays 21 on the next 5. 21 goes to a quarter. And we get another 9. Same thing, $21 goes to a quarter. $21 goes to a quarter. What is the net result of all this? Let's pull it down and find out. How did this player do? Again, this is a spread versus an up and down. Skill and luck is an up and down. This one here is more of a spread play. Give me a second to color all these things down. There's 125. There's 100. So he started out with what, 88 inside? So he has to go to 50, 70, 88. That was his initial play, 88 bucks. His net, there's 100, 125, 150, 65, 66, 166. Still less than the player who started out with 64 across. Isn't that interesting? His guy, that 64 across player, worked his ass off, right, to about here, right? And then he's finally got some juice. Okay, let's do the last player, and then I'll show you the WinCrap sim that I want you to see. We're gonna go here at 130 across. So it's gonna be 110 inside, a little higher risk, right? 110 inside with a $10 4 and 10. That's 110, 120, 130, same set of rolls, right? We catch a 4, right? So he catches the extra juice first, right? 4 pays 8, 10 pays 18, right? We're gonna go up by $10 and bring that back to the rack. We catch another 4, okay? So 20 pays 40, 25, 40, okay? We're gonna make it look like 40 and bring back 20 to the rack. He's already got a little bit of juice on the first 2 rolls, which the other players didn't have. Now he's gonna go up and pull. So on a 5-1-6 that pays $35, we're gonna pay it 35 like this, and we're gonna press 12 on the 6 and 8, and 5 each on the 5 and 9. That's on the 6. Then he catches a 9 for $42. 25, 40, $2. And now we bring all this down to 64 across. Okay, and coming back to the rack, if I take what he's got in there, there's a quarter in the rack. There's 100, 25, there's his initial money. He's already out of the hand, okay? He's got 25, 30, whatever this is, about $40 in profit. And he's playing 64 across. Now we go to the 6, and we start this. It's again the same process now, right? It's $14, right? Boring half pressing. Catch an 8, same thing, $14. We'll do a little half press with it. I'll start bringing these back to the rack here in a minute. We need some reds in a second. We catch a 9, pays 15 for 1, 15 for 1. Single unit press. We catch 2 5s, so it's going to be 15 for 1 the first time, up to $15. The next one's going to be 21, $21. Half press to a quarter. 9 never gets to a quarter for this player. Isn't that interesting? That's the second 5. The last 9, 15 pays 21. It goes to a quarter now, and we're out of the hand. Now let's see what this guy did. 3 different ways of playing the exact same 10 rolls. I think this is so fun. There's 5, 10. And again, he's already even. So he's already got his money back. So all of this is profit. There's 15. Let's get all these. I like the fact that he got the 2 4s out of the gate. 10. Okay, there's 75. That's 100. That's 50. Oh, I forgot these here. There's 25. There's another 100. So these are $200. $232. So that guy, massive risk at the front. 130 risk, right? He gets out of the hand pretty quick, and he's just juicing up. He makes a little extra. There's the four play types I wanted to show you, right? Going all in versus an up and pull, or up and down versus a spread, okay? There's a bunch of different ways to play that, okay? Now, let's come back again. Oh, it's 9 o'clock, shit. I can't do wind crabs. You know what we'll do? I'll wind crabs this tomorrow for you. I didn't realize it was already 9 o'clock, so I gotta get out. Let's go here. Let's go back here. I hope that was informative, a little bit at least, right? I wanted to show you on the table what those plays look like, and then I wanna go to wind crabs and show you how they look. Like, I'm gonna run that same stuff. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, where I'll show you the wind crabs runs of the comparisons of those 3 ways to play. And you'll be surprised by who wins. Matter of fact, in chat, you can think of who do you think is going to win when I do that. I'm going to run those exact strategies in wind crabs for 50,000 rolls. And you tell me who you think is going to win. I'm also going to win crabs tomorrow. Somebody else, we were talking here, and maybe it was Michael. I don't know who it was I was talking to. I'm glad Waylon's here. I'm going to run a spoiler alert, by the way. You're not going to be very happy with this, Waylon. I'm going to run a comparison of 3 exact same plays. One player is going to play the don't pass for $10 and use his odds, laying odds, as a ladder. Laying the point, right? You're letting the point get set, $30 in odds. They knock you off, $60 in odds. They knock you off, $90 in odds. The idea is flat bet, tiny flat bet, use odds as your hammer, right? Which is exactly what Waylon's lay the point thing does. Player 2 is going to do a do we don't. So he's not worried about the 7 or the 11. He's going to tie on the 7, 11, the 2, and the 3. He'll lose on the 12, But the come out roll is a non-case for him. He's only playing free odds. That's all he's doing. The third player is going to play Waylon's lay the point and just wait for a come out roll, bypass all that, and just drop the lay bet out there on the point. You will be shocked when you see who wins that battle. I've been doing that thing for a full day now because I'm pretty locked in on the fact that you need to have the odds be vigless. When you get into like, you know, laying 240 in odds and winning those bets, that vig does add up quite a bit. I think having the flat bet to pin the odds to without the vig, it's critical of that. So I'm going to run straight don't with odds, Dewey don't with odds, and the go lay bet. And we'll run the ladder on all of it. We're going to ladder up, ladder down. That'll be tomorrow too. Tomorrow will be like a little comparison day before I start doing my win crap stuff or my bubble crap stuff. So that's it. That's it. Y'all good? See you out there for a paycheck in about 5 minutes. Let me just give my final thoughts. And my final thoughts are going to be this. I apologize for being late, but I had to win solitaire. And I apologize for that taking so long, but I think it's better to see it here than win craps. I wanted to show you on the table. Tomorrow we'll win craps the crap out of it and it'll be fun. So there it is. There it is. There it is. I will see you all in about 5 minutes in the garage for paycheck. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. We're trying to go 9-0. I'll see you in a few minutes all. Thanks for being here. Love every one of you and God bless. Bye.